evening and welcome to the program. You're watching Ubuntu channel. And tonight on the program, we do have a couple of stories that we'll be looking at, stories that have made headlines of the week. And I'll be having, people that will be joining me so that they get to add their voices on this program. And the program is called Point of View. My name is Chaza right here. And it's a brilliant evening to have each one and every one of you watching Ubuntu channel right about now. Good evening, Himba, and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Chaza. Good evening, viewers. Chaza nizatamba bola chalila ka. Nizafunolila. Waitamba.
Yeah, I was watching that match, and there were a lot of, tens. As that match is concerned, you'd think for 1 minute that this team is carrying the day, another minute is another one, and panned out to be a draw, Lawrence, good evening.
Just say well done.
I don't know, well done to which team? I really don't know, well done to which team. Probably a well done would go to Chelsea because Man U has, great chances of winning even by 5 goals or something.
By penalty. Don't talk of 5 goals, it's not possible.
Lawrence, good evening, and how are you doing?
I'm great, and how are you?
Doing pretty fine. Let's get straight into the program. We have a number of stories, and we need to add our voices to them. Let's get to the first story right about now, and on the other side we get to comment on this story.
The National Pension Scheme Act, set for amendment, has sparked public debate. The objective of the bill is to amend the National Pension Scheme Act to provide for an option for partial withdrawal of benefits by a member under pensionable age and revise the penalty rate for delayed payment of contributions, among others. Basic Education Teachers Union of Zambia, BETUZ, says the decision to amend the Pensions Act is a positive stride in order to address the mishaps in the Act.
The 20% penalties slapped on the employers, really it's too much and beyond what employees are able to do. And government should look at a broader picture which should actually allow so many companies to be compliant. And when they are compliant, it means NAPSA or any other institution would receive more money, unlike the way it is.
For the Zambia Federation of Employers, amending the Act will help employees prepare for retirement.
People nowadays are innovative. They are engaging in a number of economic activities, such as the issues of constructing houses, but also even just running some businesses which will supplement their income levels.
Mr. Chibanda also shares the downside of allowing partial withdrawal of benefits.
Some people have stated that it's not everyone who would want to use money wisely. There are some people who, when they have money, they actually simply spend it unwisely. Those will be unfortunate situations.
Meanwhile, some Lusaka residents share their thoughts on the matter.
The way I look at these contributions, I look at them as a sort of investment. So having access to those funds even before I retire would be a good move, in that I'll be able to utilize them in a way that will be beneficial to me.
Not everybody is going to get to retirement age. So why not allow people to pick what they can and make use of it? So I think for me it's all right.
In an instance where maybe someone is not employed anymore or is unemployed but has been contributing to NAPSA. So yeah, they can use that money for a few things that can help them out.
The bill also seeks to provide for a waiver of penalties arising from delayed payment of contributions. Mary Kachepa, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
Remember to hit the like button, place a comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.
There we have it. We have, one of those contentious issues as regards, stories of the week, the NAPSA Act and its, reforms. People have actually, commented, on social media and everywhere else. Experts have also added their voices and a lot of criticisms here and there, and others are actually in jubilation. What is your viewpoint, Lawrence, as regards this matter?
Yeah, I look at this bill actually on two sides. There is a good side and there is a bad side. I'll speak as first and foremost as an employee myself. It's encouraging that not only should NAPSA be holding on to my money up to the time I reach a retirement age, that is 55 plus, and that is not now. Gone are the days when we used to have people plan to build houses, to start up businesses after they retire. Those days are gone. At this point in time, it would be helpful if I can have access to what is my money to maybe build myself a house. What I can release some pressure when it comes to rentals. I have excess money that I can even do something for myself. And like every month, I have to rely on rentals. The current situation, actually, when you look at debt in this country, a lot of people are living in debt. A lot of people have borrowed from banks, from other financial and lending institutions to try and do something meaningful, because salaries cannot sustain what they want to do. For example, some people want to set up a business and they need capital. Some people want to build a house and all that. All that cannot be sustained in a salary, because we know an average salary Zambians get is not so much. But if I go to NAPSA and claim what is my money, not everything, but partial from what is my money, without having to pay anybody interest, without having to pay anybody anything, or put some sort look for some sort of collateral to access some huge finances, I get something, and it helps me set up a business. It helps me sort out my accommodation issues, so that I release myself from the pressure of paying rentals every month. I think that is a good move. It's a plus. Also, I've heard of critics trying to say it will make a lot of Zambians live in poverty after retirement, but I tend to disagree with that. Yeah, I know some people will squander the money once given, but remember, you're not getting everything. It's only a partial withdrawal. Let's underscore the word partial, because if it was getting everything, maybe we can be worried. But when it is partial, even if somebody squanders, at least there is something that is left for them. And also, on the other downside is the removal of penalties for late contributions. I think it now gives employers that leeway to delay remitting these contributions, because remember, they are deducted from salaries for the.
Sorry to cut you short. On that amendment, I think it's not currently is on 20% as a penalty. The whole amount that they needed to submit, then 20% of it a penalty. So there's been a reduction in the proposition.
What I'm trying to say is, the heavier the punishment is, the more these companies will try to avoid it. So as a result, if the punishment is less stiff, we are just encouraging employers to delay remitting these money, because 10%, probably it is easier for them to make up 10% from utilizing money which was deducted from an employee. And they use it to run businesses and all that, and then it's much easier to recover after from profit of whatever ventures they undertake. I think it should be some kind of a more punitive kind of arrangement we should look forward to, whereby we should force and twist employers to remit on time. I think it is very important in that way.
All right, and on the other hand, I feel the reduction may be good, because I'll give you an example. If you are giving a child punishment, let's say a child of 10 years, then you give them maybe something too heavy to carry, maybe 50 kg bag of maize, because of a wrong that they have done, and they have not carried it. And each time you tell them to carry, they are not carrying it. Why not giving them, a punishment that is, attainable? Because these, employers, they have huge penalties, owed to NAPSA, and they have not managed to pay all the same. And when it's manageable, it is believed
Let
that
us
they are
understand
going to pay.
why do they delay to remit the contributions? Why should it be like that? Because remember, that is an employee's money which was deducted from their salary. So, to my assumption, if they were able to pay the employee, it means that that money is there. Yeah, I understand. It's a kind of a 5%, 5%. The employer also has to contribute 5% towards it. I understand that. But at the end of the day, why should the 5%, at least even the 5% that they removed from my salary, is not remitted? I think I don't see the reason why that should happen. But the thing is that sometimes I understand companies tend to sometimes not have liquidity and all that. So some of these things, they will just focus on paying what they are supposed to pay the salary to the employee, so that work continues and all that. But it should not be an ongoing thing where these companies will deduct money, and they don't remit it what they're supposed to take it. I think we should look at ways of even empowering NAPSA to even take such companies to court, so that they should explain where they have taken the money they deducted from an employee.
All right, and I agree with you on the issue of partial withdrawal. And maybe I was even thinking that the amendment to increase retirement age could have been deliberate, because we understand that the lifespan, is too short. So this employee should die even before they actually, get that retirement package. So as it is, before, someone, dies or anything, while they are still energetic, they need to access that money and do things and put maybe such resources in investments and so on and so forth. And I also believe that you cannot build a house out of retirement package. You need to build a house. You need to do all sorts of things while you are energetic, and when you retire, it's time for you to rest.
Exactly, Chaza. Exactly. That is exactly my viewpoint. We should encourage a situation whereby as many people as possible should have, or at least should be able to access some sort of capital, which does not need them to pay interest to these banks. Because Chaza, let us not beat around the bushes here. We all of us here know that, especially civil servants, it's a sorry sight when it comes to loans. They are owing several banks, financial institutions, whatever they have, because the salary is an average Zambian gets is not enough. We cannot do something meaningful. The only way we can have some good cash is if I go to NAPSA and say, okay, fine, give me at least 30% of what I have right now, or 40% of what I have, so that I can set up, if I can set a business for myself. Well, if I squander it all, let us all agree that at least it's my money. No one should develop a headache. No one should develop a headache over how I abused or misused or whichever word you want to use on my money.
Let me cut you short. Let me cut you short. As you are working, you are earning a salary. You are having that money. We don't know how you use it. If you are careless, you definitely misuse your money. And when it comes to any other money that you receive, be it a loan or your own money from NAPSA as a partial withdrawal, I think it's the same way that you use that money.
Exactly. It's up to me. It's up to my thinking. As long as I do not leave my family as destitute, as long as I know I'm trying to achieve something. Yes, sometimes you invest money in some things and things don't work out. Things happen like that. But there is no better time to try than now. You can't wait to try out a business when you are 55. What ideas do you have then?
It's time to rest. Let me cut you short again. Let's proceed to the next story, and we see you on the other side.
Sure.
Yeah.
The construction of these student hostels at the Copperbelt University in Kitwe has stalled for some time now. Efforts have been made to have them completed, but all in vain. But what really is the problem here? President Haga Ndihijilema was at CBU to demand answers.
Aggregate, it's about 55%. We have contractors doing the four lots. One contractor has got 2 lots, and the other contractor has got 1 lot.
The president is not impressed that the country has assets lying idle without completion and promised to pick it up from here.
So we can't have assets lying idle like this, uncompleted. When it's uncompleted, this is taxpayers' money. Then it means it's unproductive. And the country's economy cannot function when you have a lot of incompleted projects, such as this. Across the country, there are incompleted secondary schools, incompleted various infrastructure where taxpayers' money went in there. And then it's sitting idle. In economic terms, we say this is a non-productive asset. So all I can ask you, let's work together. Let's work together. And this is your government, we are your servants. We use public resources, and you heard our pronouncements in Parliament. When I opened Parliament this year, I said we shall complete incomplete projects because that's not a political party money. This is taxpayers' money.
President Hijilema has since tasked the provincial and district leadership to work together in seeing to it that the project is completed.
Minister of Education, first provincial minister, and the PS, and the mayor, yes, you're here, and the mayor, and the DC, and the MP. And we as Kitwe, as Kwacha here, with this team, plus now the management, central government, everybody pull together. That's why you hear me emphasizing teamwork.
Earlier, the president interacted with students and different stakeholders who had gathered to welcome him at the CBU grounds where he landed. Joy Siatubi, ZNBC News, Kitwe.
Remember to hit the like button, place a comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.
All right. Beautiful. You can actually, get to drop us a comment, or you can follow us, live in the studio so that you get to add your voice to the stories that we have here. You can join us right on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and any other, social platform as Ubuntu Channel Zambia. And unfortunately, we had lost Himba. She's actually back here. I think I'll invite her to comment first on the story that we have at hand as regards, those hostels that are lying incomplete at, CBU there. Himba.
Thank you so much, Chaza, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to add my voice or my view to the story on the Copperbelt University. It's just unfortunately that a a lot of buildings, they've been left unfinished. I wish we could get a proper explanation, because kangena nguyenzo soba no soba, some were going missing. So we don't really know what has been happening. But believe me, it will be an economy where we start things and leave them halfway. I think that is poor planning and it's wastage. That's our money, that's taxpayers' money. And I only hope, as the president visited the site, that building is going to be finished. And we've been hearing our sisters, our children, kulila at my hostels, bashotela, basharing, that kind of thing. So may the government do something on those hostels so that our children, our brothers and sisters, they can have proper accommodation well in these universities. And I strongly feel that's not the only building or these buildings that has been brought in the public domain. They are not the only ones. We still have a lot of buildings. But I appeal through the CDF that may our leaders, political leaders, community leaders, come together to see to it that these structures are finished and are put to use. Thank you, Chaza.
Thank you so much. We've been joined by Jeremy there. Jeremy, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Chaza, and good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for welcoming me to this program.
Beautiful. If you can, would like to see your face also, unless there are, compelling reasons as to why you don't want to unveil your face.
Unfortunately, I can't bring on my video because there's no power. There's issues.
Ah, okay. I thought that was a thing of the past. Jeremy, your comment on this story we are looking at.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. Those infrastructure are needed by the students. We hear every year. It's not just CBU, but also at UNZA. It's the same story also at Evelyn Horn. It's the same story with that university in Wapula and in Northern Province, where they just started and then they didn't finish. Really, just like Himba said, submitted, he said, really, we need answers over these projects, because for them to start a project, I'm sure there were allocation of funds. Let's have really a story or a report concerning these buildings, because you can't just start something, Chaz, and you abandon it midway. And I heard Himba was saying we need to use CDF, but those are capital projects, Himba, and the whole CDF can just go in and the project is not completed. It would be better if the central government can come in and allocate enough funds to complete those hostels and make sure that they're complete and the students occupy them, because they were meant for the students who are struggling each year. And you know what is happening in our public institutions? Every year courses are being added to the public institutions. Students are increasing because of now the demand of education, but infrastructure still remains the same. And you start something and you abandon it. Really, that is wastage of public funds. I submit, Chaza.
Thank you so much. And lastly, Lawrence, would you add your voice to this story that we have?
Well, this particular story is a story of interest to me because I was once a student at CBU, and that project started while I was there. And I think that was somewhere 2012 or 2013, somewhere there. That's when that project started.
Atindrama banapeleka kulima fish.
And I remember going to learn a few things from that construction there when they were just starting at the foundation, and we were really excited as students that time that something is coming to help out with accommodation challenges, which are very, very, very much visible at CBU, because we are forced to share a room which was meant for two. At least 4 people stay in a room, because in some rooms there are even as many as 8. I remember having a lecturer joking with us that the rumors that he heard were that we pack ourselves in the rooms that are available, such that the last person to enter the room must be the first one to come out. Otherwise, everybody can't move out. And we used to laugh about such, and such is the situation.
Lawrence, sorry to disturb you. And I think you know this story is better. I think you and me, we share this almost the same situation. I was also in a public institution, and gona kwati mabattery mutu wawe winangu yanga nauko, then winangu kuli mendo yako ndio kuli mutu wabzako. It is like mabattery for you to fit in the room.
Exactly. Because you share a single bed. That single bed, two people have to sleep on it. So if you sleep facing the same side, I don't know, the mechanism there, you can't fit. So it's the way you put batteries in a remote. One faces this side, the other one faces the opposite side, and that is how we sleep at CBU. Everybody who is in campus actually can attest to that. We call it to my bad. Yeah. Sometimes you wake up, your friend's feet are in your mouth. It is what it is. But on a serious note, it's a situation where we were excited when this project started, to be honest, and we really thought at least this will help alleviate the accommodation challenges we are facing. Because, to be honest, when you look at sanitation wise, it's not manageable, and that is why institutions such as Evelyn Horn, to be specific, faces a lot of waterborne diseases, because everybody's packed using the little facilities that are there. It's no longer conducive. And this project, actually, it's not only at CBU. This project was started at Evelyn Horn. This project was started at UNZA. This project was started at CBU. If I'm not mistaken, Mulungushi as well got a fair share of hostels which had commenced being constructed. But as things stand, we are looking at 10 years now, and we are still talking about the same thing. It's just unacceptable, and we should. To me, it shows some levels of poor planning, because if we are going to start a project and leave it midway, then it means we didn't plan so well for it. And hopefully, the relevant authorities, since this kind of concern was coming from the head of state himself, shows that he has taken this with interest, and we hope that he pushes this project, that it goes, because unfortunately, him just talking about it won't move anything unless the government releases some funds to facilitate and work on those projects. And that is what we expect to see probably in the nearest future. And I'm sure students at CB would be very, very, very grateful for that. I submit.
Thank you so much.
And just to add on the same buildings we are talking about, I think let's also develop a culture of maintenance to maintain these buildings, because I think there's this tendency in our country where the moment they build a building, they forget about it. My toilet ya kufa, my showers ya kufa, they literally forget about. There's no maintenance. So may these buildings, as they are building new ones, may they also take into consideration to find or to put in a system on how to maintain these buildings. I remember in the past, plumber department, let's have those departments. What has happened to those departments? Because if you see how these buildings are dilapidated where the students are living, it's shocking. So they don't even have people to maintain. So may the government come up with a strong system to maintain, because building that is wastage. So let's also come up with a system how we are going to maintain and look after these buildings. I submit.
And just to add on, I think sometime in when this project was starting, we had heard the government at that time saying they were trying to go into PPP private public partnerships for the construction of those hostels, where some private companies would come in and fund the construction, and then under certain agreements where money is collected from students for accommodation fees for those particular hostels, they would get a certain percentage for a certain period of time. I think that was a very good idea, and I hope that can work, because if we are to leave everything in the hands of government, I think it's going to be very difficult. Looking at the availability of resources. So if we can also try to explore that mode of construction and all that, I think it can do wonders for us. I submit.
Right.
Just a minute, just a minute before we conclude. Yeah, it's surprising, Chaza, where you start a project at Evelyn One, you start a project at CBU, you start a project at Onza, and then something that you know that you can't even finish. A one hostel, Chaza, you can't even finish. Then you leave it and start in university in Ilwapula. Really?
The one that disappeared.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Honorable, who was supposed to be the vice president now?
Professor.
Professor, exactly. Saw the buildings with his own eyes. She saw them. But some of us, we can't see them, Chaza.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what really was happening.
I heard that some of the projects were used, as an avenue of siphoning, some funds into their pockets. I really don't know how true that is.
Yeah, we can speculate, Chaza. We can speculate.
Yeah,
We cannot know exactly. We can speculate, but the truth of the matter, all we know that the university disappeared. That was confirmed by the professor.
And the buildings were abandoned.
Oh,
Those
yes.
are facts.
All right, let's make progression as we get to look at the next story. See you on the other side.
It is a message that is no longer strange to men with cell phones, as they are sent to thousands of people by fraudsters on a daily basis. Many have been swindled of their money by fraudsters in broad daylight. By coincidence, right within the Zicta head office grounds, this reporter received a message from a scammer who later called requesting for details. Okay. Ndara sharafu malero line.
Ndilero lini chenda kunondera matelefoni nako to Airtel. So mwala kwato kulisiva mu Airtel money mu mu account. Yamkwai.
Na totero na shirafu wa mpya. Shirafu mashinga mkwai.
Tumeni bafite ntwara mye professional info sharafu ma.
Mwalishi watu waziki. They stand tall and firm right in the middle of the Forest Reserve number 27 in Lusaka State Lodge area. From 716 hectares Forest Reserve to now only 218 hectares after being degazetted, concerns of water supply being affected in Lusaka after construction on this water recharge zone have risen.
If the damage that we are seeing here continues, we don't do anything about it, it means in the near future we are going to have serious problems, because this forest was earmarked as a recharge zone. So it's important that action is taken to restore, its status of being a recharge zone.
Water Development and Sanitation Minister Mike Mposha has accompanied his counterparts from land and local government, Elijah Muchima and Garin Kombo. After exploring the area with land surveyors, Mr. Muchima was not a happy man and wants this land regazetted.
At the end of it, we shall recommend to the president to regazette for some important place, important area to us. We have been told that the forest can regenerate itself if we manage it properly. So we need now onwards to manage it, and the forest and WAMA and local government, we have to be together. We have to manage here, either with the settlement or without settlement.
For Mr. Nkombo, settlers here will have to be subjected to thorough interviews to establish how they acquired their land.
You will buy a property here at your own risk. So we are advising the citizens to avoid buying land here. By all means, they must avoid buying land in this area until all the issues that are surrounding this place are resolved. We asked the council to stop processing any building plans approvals. We are also back to Ministry of Lands, our parent ministry, to also not produce any title for now.
The three ministers stated that they will collaborate to ensure that the Forest Reserve number 27 can be gazetted for preservation of its water recharge duty to the ecosystem. Mark Zilgone, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
We have two stories to react to there. We have, one that is, talking about fraudsters that, the systems are in place to actually start, arresting and cabbing, the fraudulent activities that are being perpetrated by, these scammers. And the other story is about, the Forest 27 issue, which is still ongoing. And we don't know if people are still buying land there, people are still settling there. And it's an area that was initially reserved as a recharge zone. Let's get to react to these two stories. This time around, I'll start with you, Lawrence.
I think, thank you so much, Chaza. I think let me start with the issue of scammers. Currently, I don't think there is anybody in this country who has not received a text from these guys. Texts have come, calls have come, and it's been years now. People have been complaining, people have been airing concerns, people have been talking about it, but we never hear anybody arrested in that line. And this is where we start to question how effective some of our institutions are, because apparently these scammers even use numbers that are very much traceable. These scammers use numbers that are very much registered, and how all these things are happening is very much something that we can't understand. To this effect, I think it's just something that we have to take upon ourselves to exercise caution when we receive phone calls or SMSs that we do not understand, especially on things that involve money. Guard your money, the money that you work hard for. I think guard it so jealously and know when you can spend it and all that. Anything that you are not sure of, especially things that you did not participate in. You cannot win a competition that you did not participate in, first and foremost. You cannot be called to apply for a job that to apply for a job that you never even knew about, and someone is telling you to send NRCs and all that. I think let us be factual and realistic here. There's no quick way of getting some things. You can only be called for a job interview if you applied for a job. You can only be called to send some details if probably they are missing and you applied for something. Unlike someone just sends you something out of nowhere and you want to start running around and trying to see how you can secure that job which you don't even know about. things don't work like that. So it's up to each and every one of us in this country to guard ourselves, to take care, and ensure that we report some of this, even though we know nothing is ever happening. Because personally, I've reported quite some numbers, and I've never received feedback what happened ever since. So it's where we also start to question some of the institutions, like I said earlier on. Going on to the issue of of Forest 27 there. It's been a very highly debatable issue for some time now, since that area was degazetted some years ago. But I'm not an expert when it comes to environmental issues and the like, but from the little that I've learned in this matter is that that area actually acts as a recharge point for groundwater in the whole city of Lusaka, and tampering with it actually affects the availability of groundwater in many parts of the city. And if my understanding is right, it's something that we should be concerned about, and we should look forward to having punitive measures taken so that we can safeguard the water levels and water quality of Lusaka in terms of groundwater. Actually, let us understand that in this era, we are in an era where Lusaka water itself does not service most of the parts of Lusaka this time around. Most of the new areas are not serviced by Lusaka water whatsoever, and people depend on groundwater for their survival. So if we tamper with an area which helps us recharge and increase the viability of water of groundwater in Lusaka, then we are just shooting ourselves in the foot, and we should look forward to having more problems, because we will reach a stage where we have water, we have pump boreholes that only give us water in the rain season, and after that they're also dry, because we should remember what we tampered with. And it's very bad for the city actually, and we need to look into ways we can actually reverse such kinds of decisions that were made. Because if you look at the caliber of people that have got plots in that area, it is only those high upper mwambas who were actually holding positions, especially in the previous government. It shows how selfish some people can be, and I really will not sit down and condone such kind of selfishness from anybody. So let us hope that what the three ministers have promised in the clip is actually taken care of, because I think Mr. Haring Kombo himself is on record having mentioned that he's going to sort out this mess the moment the UPND government takes charge. But it's over a year and we're still talking about it. And I hope the time that this time around that they have shown up and shown interest in this matter once again gives us some kind of hope. I submit.
Thank you so much, Imba. Actually, add your voice, to these two stories.
Thank you so much. Chaza, inefintwimo mfayo kwipusha, I think I need to be educated. I think certain things ukulalanda fye no mungulu wabuka fye watampo okulanda uti abantu bakutontonkanyisha pofimo. People may think something about you. In area shia Forest 27 dilampamano. In the first place, I would love a situation where these people who were acquiring plots there, because personally, I've made to understand that these are high-profile people, according to the information that were given in the past. And I've made to understand that niwapa mwamba. So I would want them, okay, I want to think a little bit different from everyone. So olopeva na manga ya jamanyumba, I'm sure they've disturbed the water system in the city. And according to what we got from the report, they are even saying kulima shortage ya manzi simwamene. So olobamanga manyumba ya Japa Forest 27, where do they think they'll be getting water? It really doesn't make sense for me, and I would really want to be educated what was going through their mind. And most of them, according to the information we were given in the past, that most of the people who have acquired plots on that land, they're our leaders, political leaders. So do we usher them into power? Bakatenge ma plots. They steal from us. They are stealing from us. And they are literally making our lives unbearable. Is that what our vote means? You know, I think for me, these leaders, they should be brought to book, especially my leaders by Mama Plot Pajapa Forest 27. They should be brought to book, and we should know them. You know, because what they are doing, it's criminal, it's an offense, it's inhuman. Batibera ndrama vaenda vatenga landi na manzi vatenga, so they literally want us not to have water. And how do they expect to survive as a city, as a nation? I would want them to tell us what plan they've put or what measures they've put into place. Atatenga Forest 27 simzambo benefit ako kumanzi, so tizambo mpasani manza. So what provision, what other alternative did they leave for the Zambian people? And I appeal to Honorable Gary Nkombo, as he promised before he got into power, and I'm sure he's in the right position to deal with that case. We want that land back to us, the Zambian people. There's nowhere when we ushered these political leaders in power to say, Mukai send Forest 27. We didn't tell them. And when they were giving each other plots, they didn't even consult us, the Zambian people. We need our forest back. Simple. Whoever has a plot there is a thief. Whoever has a plot there is not worth to be called the honorable. Whoever has a plot on Forest 27 does not deserve to sit in parliament. And if you follow this story, amen, you're going to find that actually there's proper networking barrier. Because they were even giving each other plots through the law such that it's difficult to retrieve those plots from them. If you follow them, it happens that they did this within the law, bakashita manipulate law so that it becomes difficult. Me, I really appeal that whoever MP has a plot there, they should suspend it from parliament. Who are they representing? I submit, Chaza.
All right, thank you so much, Himba. We do appreciate. Jeremy, are you there? Quickly do come in as we get to the next story.
Thanks, Chaza. Let me start with the issue for scammers. So, just like Lawrence had earlier submitted, this has been an ongoing issue, and really it's a concern. But my submission tonight, I just want to maybe give an alert to our viewers that are following us and watching us. One of the things to identify that what you've received is coming from a scammer is that you receive something that they'll require information like it's an emergency. They'll make it, they won't give you time for you to think. They'll make it seem to be like it's an emergency. When you receive such from unknown people, just know that it's a scammer. Two, it will really come from people that you don't know. Once you receive something from the number that you don't know, begin to suspect that that is a scammer. So be on the alert, especially on them requesting for information like it's immediately. I think you saw from the clip, they were telling the reporter, please submit your NRC number so that we can send money as quickly as possible. You will receive the monies today. Chaza, we know all government processes. When you take a paper today, it takes some few days before you maybe receive payment and all that. There are procedures. So when you see something that really is out of the way and it's an emergency, just know that it's a scammer. Coming to the issue of Forest 27, let me divert a bit. Let me answer it in a medical way. In a medical fraternity, they say if a drug, the benefit of a drug outweighs the risk, you administer the drug. Okay, we know that when you take this drug, Chaza, it will give you might have maybe a headache, but we know that this drug is going to heal you from the disease that you're suffering. So we will go ahead and administer that drug. Okay, so my issue is this: do we need Forest 27? If the answer is yes, because it's a recharge point, and without that, what the underground water is going to be compromised, and we might lose lives, because once you don't have clean water, Chaza, it's a risk for us to have outbreaks like cholera and all that. So if really we need the first 27, there is nothing to wait for, Chaza. Let's demolish the houses. If really we are benefiting, a lot of people are going to benefit from that Richard zone. With nothing to wait, Chaza. Let's just demolish the house, restore back the first 27. I submit.
I agree with you.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. We do appreciate Himba there, Lawrence. Thank you so much. Let's quickly get to the next story. And on the other side, we get to add our voices so that we express ourselves as regards the viewpoint that we have concerning the story.
A Ndola-based woman, Prudence Banda, has taken to the press demanding child support from renowned soccer administrator Ponga Liwewe. Ms. Banda claims having a son with Mr. Liwewe from their dating affair about 8 years ago.
We were just dating and then I felt pregnant by the time.
She, however, says efforts to engage him, including seeking help from the victim support unit, has yielded nothing.
There are times where, Mr. Ponga is not just I don't know what kind of a person he is. It's like he does it on purpose. Realizing as if that boy is not his. I even told him, if you've got a problem knowing that if this boy is not your son, maybe you should go for a DNA test. Because there's no way you can be behaving in such a manner. Every time you ask this, I told him, it's not, it's because me I'm in Ndola and you are in Lusaka. It's very irritating whereby every time you have to be calling someone for food, for what. Just think of, let's come to a conclusion.
When asked to confirm or deny knowing Ms. Banda, Mr. Liwewe refused to comment on the matter. Not too long ago, another public figure, former Kabushi Member of Parliament, Boma Lusambo, was accused of child neglect by a Ndola-based woman, Mercy Coam, in what now may be termed to be a Ndola infect. For Movie TV News, I'm Kaptura Afias in Lusaka.
It's very funny indeed, a story, and it has been linked to the previous story where there was, a claim for child neglect, and this time around is the same issue, and all these people are people in the limelight. Your reaction, I can see you are smiling already there, Lawrence. Let me start with you, then we come to Himba.
Okay, it's just funny, but such issues are actually difficult to even comment on because some of these things, there is no witness, I should say. It's only between the two of them who knows the truth. And we're only getting one-sided story, and the other side has refused to comment. It makes it very hard for us to say anything. But I'll still go ahead and say something. And that something I'll say is that if the big man, Mr. Liwewe, is convinced that that is actually his pregnancy or something like that, I think it's always important that some of these things are sorted out.
8 years ago, bana.
Such issues are better solved amicably because the woman says 8 years ago we are estimating a child being somewhere 8 years or 7 years, somewhere there. And if really that is he is convinced and had something to do with that woman, please, it's always important that such issues are sorted out amicably for the benefit of the child, of the child actually in question, because we do not want to see numbers of destitutes increasing because some fathers out there did not take responsibility. And also it is important that if he is so sure that he does not know or has never had anything to do with the said woman, I think it's important he comes out so some of these things are cleared out in public perceptions. Well, I'm not a big fan of having such issues being sorted out in the public like this, but it's already in public. I think we need to see how we can settle. And at the end of the day, you know how Zambians love such kinds of stories. And obviously, right now, some people are even glued on their phones, trying to look for the child and try to matchmake to see the man or the face. Already, I'm sure there are some people who are doing some things like that, but I prefer some of these things are sorted out personally and privately, as opposed to bringing them out on the media and all that. I think that's the little I can say over this issue.
All right, thank you, Lawrence. And I'll say the times we are living in, at times, you need to ensure that you are in good boots with people, because if you are not, believe you me, it will be taken out to the media, social media, and you'll definitely be in trouble and regret, certain things. Let's be in good boots with people, really. Himba.
So that wakazikisungira ma secret.
Of course.
Correct, Aisha. Correct.
I mean, yeah.
Apparently, Chaza, I'm going to react to this issue as a woman, probably. In
I can see the direction.
What? What?
I hope you want
that direction, because obviously the man has already been convicted as a woman.
Of course.
What? I fail to understand. You know what? I'm going to appeal to men on behalf of women. Imwe wamuna. Kapena nikambe mchako watu. Imwe wamuna imwe wene Chaza wene Lawrence wene Jerome imwe. Mumaziva atipadia ninadia kondio. I don't even know vintu vikambo mwambo funza mafunza ine nikenzeko cheka mozi. Then you look at this person who is saying nikenzeko cheka mozi. This person is a well-educated person, very, very informed. Kupanga muntu, kulipea ikamba taking a such time uti muntu apangiwe, and on the other hand, imwe wamene bamuna, mumaziba, olo mukana, so makambati no comment, mumaziba. Me, I'm not going to mention a person. I'm going to say, I'm going to generalize. That's why people are quite no comment. Because where you don't know, you're going to react just like that. When inafacheka natural death yabango bobo ka natural death still zamwe sovingia kwenye ma DNA ka natural death
And actually Himba, that one actually even makes me wonder, why has that woman suddenly kept quiet? Could it be that she was wrongly accusing someone, or probably things are now being sorted out and there is child maintenance happening? We don't know, and it's difficult for us. It's difficult right now. We don't know. So could it be that she has realized that she was actually just defaming someone and is scared now? I don't know.
That's why Nina Kambati, I'll talk as a woman, because apa whereas watate wa mwana ni mai wake. And the pali Zambia yonse mkaza bwela tomolapo che iwe. Like yana ngiye bachoko kamba yi ya ku sporti ajumpa na maborders mundu. Abwela tomolapo che iwe.
Yimba, the statement you have said has reminded me of another story. You said the person who knows the father to a child is the mother, and the father would only name the child. There was some woman that was listening to that song probably repeatedly, and the man murdered the woman. Really, I do agree with you that it's a woman who knows. And this is why a man sometimes may be victimized also, because probably he doesn't even know.
But then, in nowadays, Chaza, I totally agree. When angwama na mizira, kange mwezeko jako bali fo, kange manje kulima sisi, undabati, iwe wenze kuliwa kainge bakazi kuliwa moto kuli 1C cash 1C car 1C clothes so iwe kapena wenze wavo vala wina wenze wa motoka wina mulina ma categories so mwenze kujako na wina according to what you are investing in that woman baza kunamizira and naeve po picking up angaona ati ni patipeni za dia bwino paza nsunga bwino you end up raising somebody's child without knowing, but I mean that is society. But our main issue today, it's where a woman has mentioned somebody and there's kulima DNA manji unga if you are not sure bwela nitipimise mwe akambira Lawrence bantu manje apapeti kamba basakila kudatu ma picture dikapena tikaibe no gona mzaka ona cheka batate bake na mwana bamwika bambe no shita analyze. So there's this DNA and then men mutizi watu mapasa mamimba kwa kazi. You know, a real man is a man who takes responsibility of his own actions. Mwana, just be honest to your wife. Or, look, ninamimbika, kuin mwana wanga. Sure, an innocent soul should be suffering somewhere, kumbali, because of you.
I wake up the following day.
But look, there's an innocent child who is suffering somewhere. Apa ukamba nishwaimirira kudo nanga nukamba nishuligone nkwimira kudo ukamba because you don't know what will happen next. You know, but please take responsibilities of your own actions. These children, they are brought into the world not on request, and you know, as we are growing, timapita mwambili, you know, waesako hapa kulima research, you are looking for a better woman to settle with. You mess up in life, but what is important is to be responsible of your own actions. What is going through now, like what is happening now, this is quite embarrassing. You know, we are talking about a real public figure, an international figure, and then wambopezeka mungani zaso. Why can't wambocheka kwechenga nika one pin watu mizira kuja mwana bamusunga ndiye lolo yakti nkani sina bwele mu social media mwe ibwelera, you know, it dents your character. But we know that as we are growing, we pass through a lot of avenues. In these avenues, somewhere we are responsible, somewhere we are non-responsible. Na ife bazimai tieni nanga ma family planning okaya. You know, let's see to read that. I mean, personally, if the father says no for the child, I would rather work hard and raise my child, even though it's painful that this man, in the future, you come and claim for the child. You come back and claim, you see what I'm trying to say? So these are some of the issues that should really, men, please take responsibility. Mumatsia ma problems yambiri lazima itima vutika to raise these children. And again, ololiben drama, I appeal to you men, ololiben drama. This child needs you psychologically. Bami funani bana as they are growing. Nga one ololiben drama maonekera ama kupasa ulemu. You know, as I conclude, Chaza, there's this one man in town, Pajapalima Tower. And so gulisa tomato palima tawa pajapageti nga mungena, and he was talking ashimikila muzaki. He was like, boy, nifunika lero nigulise che, I need to sell something because inenapasa mimba and sinifuna mwana wanga akavutike and sinifuna kumulekelela madam. I looked at this guy, he was just selling tomatoes, and you know, I was so humbled and I respected this man because he was literally taking responsibility of his action, despite him not having any money. The act he made, it was making him to work hard, you see. But when angu bamachama banaenda balinda che mwana akakule tikabaike pa social media ndiye veva funa. I submit, Chaza. Na bango bobo.
All right, thank you so much. We do appreciate their Himba. And lastly, let's get to hear what Jeremy has.
Thanks, Chaza. I wanted to refer this story to Pansaka. I think the Pansaka team can really help us to understand really what is going on here. But for me, Chaza, it's the lesson to other ladies that are watching, that such things happen. So
Wangela at other ladies. Nanga
Yes.
my borders.
You've touched for the women, right? You've spoken for the women. You students, you've spoken for the
Jeremy.
women. I'm also speaking for the
Jeremy.
men.
Yes, Jeremy, I'm with you. Please defend the men there.
Yeah. So it's ladies to run away from us actually. Because such things happen. But anyway,
I'm a
for
pregnant
me,
test. It can end by showing an work.
yeah, for me, it's a simple issue. If this one is claiming this is your child, and if the man, unfortunately, has not commented anything, it's simple, Chaza. I'm a physician. The issue here is DNA. It's sorted out. Thank you.
Chaza, before you go to the next story, tikambati DNA. Venangu DNA inakanga. Tikambati paka story yankala zii. Inakanga DNA. Vatava notava. I think it is ngamba kapena kuwangirira kunyumba ya malamulo kuja kaja kakapukeva mwera wakaba.
All right, thank you so much. We do appreciate, the voice that you are adding to these stories. Let's quickly get to the next story.
I also want to emphasize that there's nothing special about being president. Just like I was president, Honorable Bakayinde Chileno has become His Excellency's president. God works through all of us, and none of us is special.
All right, there we are. Let's quickly get to react to that story, and I think I'll start with the lady this time around, Himba. Quickly, your reaction.
Chaza Suzy was sobera. Nakona Suzy was sobera. Ukasovera bwino Chaza.
It's simple. It's because there's nothing special about Chaza.
Just imagine.
There's nothing special about being in plot 1.
Do you agree with that statement?
God uses everyone. God can use anyone, so there's nothing special.
Nothing special.
In the first place, before I get to that point, I think I've got 2 points to react to this issue. The first issue is that, okay, sometimes vakateka, I think, former, sometimes valatulekeresha. Some of the comments he passes sometimes, I think I don't know, and I fail to understand. Me, I wouldn't want to speak so negative about, but kapena maiki basaziba pasa, because whenever he speaks, I expect now he's a father to us. When he speaks, he should be speaking of unity. When he speaks, he should be speaking to motivate us. And even when you say there's nothing special being a president, so I've been telling the young people that don't even eye to be a president, there's nothing. Instead of right now, he is a role model to the upcoming leaders. When he's got such a platform, let him say something that we're going to say, oh, wow, Valanda, that kind of thing. That's what I would want to hear from him, not this. And he shouldn't be giving us the platform.
Mfwiti mulekeni muntu.
You shouldn't be giving us the platform or the reason for us to speak negative about him. For now, you should be giving us the reason for us as Zambian people to support him, to speak good about him. And people are still, whether we like it or not, it is what it is. The Zambian people are still healing from a lot of things we went through, you know, the name we were called, whatever we went, some lost their beloved ones during his regime. But for now, that is that is water under the bridge. Let him help us to heal and to move on as a nation. I'm sure there are some good things he did, and there are also some bad things he did. But his time is gone. So there's nothing, and then therefore I should take but there's nothing being Ruben. I want Ruben to be my VP. So there's nothing to be a president. When there's no day our father ever said, me when I leave power. No. When gonna win, I'll rest. I'll hand over power to myself. And there's no statement, there's no video where he said, when I leave power, I want to do this, I want to do this. He never saw himself leaving power. But we respect him, and we still regard him as our former leader. Let him try to censor what he says in public. He's still a public figure. If anything, we'd love to see him work at UN, be part of those, people who are working under the UN nation. Even so, if he's the next Kofi Annan, UN, you know, that's what we would want to hear. That's what we would want to know. I submit.
Thank you so much. I'll throw it to you, Jeremy. What's your reaction to this story?
Well, for me, it was right. There's nothing special about being president. There's nothing special. Anyway, the way he came out,
there's nothing new.
I think the current president actually has said it, has simplified it. We are here to save, and presidency is a seat where you save the Zambian people, become like a servant. Really, we glorify the presidents in this country. Yes, him, I think you are exposed. Your prime minister must resign anytime. Because there's nothing special there. You have to save. Once you failed, you resign. It's not enough where you cling to it because you think as if it's special. There's nothing special, I submit.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. And quickly, Lawrence.
I think from the very incident, from the very first time I heard of this story, because social media was awash after this comment, and I was very lukewarm about it. I didn't see so much trouble with his sentiments, but I was particularly interested in listening to what people were commenting concerning the same statement. And interesting one, I think, is a statement that is being attributed to one of NDC's top guys in Kawita, who said something like, "Bamdara mwiratu bepa." You switched off internet, and in those lines, you switched off internet at the time of elections. You even made sure you were on the ballot after saving, and today you tell us there's nothing special. Well, all the same, for me, to be honest, I always took this statement with kind of a lukewarm kind of a thing. Though I think for me, what was wrong was the timing where he uttered those words. It was at the time when he was invited for National Day of Prayer, and he shunned. Then he goes somewhere else to go and give such kind of statements. I think that is where, for me, I had issues, a little bit of issues, not so much of issues, but for what he said, I think, to be honest, there is really nothing special about being president. There is really nothing. You are still a human being. You are still someone who has to work under the law. You are still someone who has to live just like everybody else. You still get sick. You still need to eat. You're still a human being. In short, you will not live a kind of different life because you are president. But
Lawrence, no. You've got immunity. That is being special. Why you and I in a slang at night? There's something behind. There is something.
No. I think understand the concept that he's trying to bring out here. He's not saying that he's not important. No, a president is not important. No, he's not saying that the president is of no value. No, he's not saying being the president has got no favor. No, what he's trying to say is that at the end of the day, you are still a human. That is, I think that this is just what he's trying to bring out. At the end of the day,
okay, sorry,
Roland.
Sorry to take into your time, Roland. The fact that he commented about the presidency, which means there's something special. Why didn't he say there's nothing special about being a doctor?
Mama Seka or boss at lose my election. So it's like there's nothing special there. Who has
been there and have just come out of it, and he's telling it's like you are listening to a man who was once married to a certain lady and he divorced her, and he tells you that there is nothing special about her. She's just like any other woman. And because the man now who is married to her is like, no, why did you marry her in the first place if there's nothing special about her? Hey, what? No. He's not saying that she does not deserve to be married. No, he's just trying to say, if you are married to her, she is a woman like any other woman.
Period. Just saying that there's nothing special. You know that somebody is having what you don't have, and you want to treat it like it's nothing. Anyway, that's my opinion on that one. He didn't shun
We all have something that somebody else doesn't have at the end of the day, and you cannot hold everybody because no, me, this one is my husband. No one else has this husband of mine. Yes, no one else has that, but they also have different kinds of husbands.
Okay, we'll bring that on debate. But there's one thing I want us to correct. Have that one on debate. I think I don't want to correct it, but I want people to see it in a different angle anyway. Some people, maybe some may agree with me. On this one, I stand with our former leader. I don't think he understanding my prayers. He just decided to go and worship from the congregation where he was comfortable. But I think for me, going, this the Day of National Prayer, it's individual. If anything, I would even want that people should worship from their churches, where there are doctrines they believe in, there's a system they believe in. I think for him not to go to the showgrounds, I think for me, we shouldn't hold him responsible. Christianity, the issue of faith, it's individual. You go to the place where you're comfortable. So I think on that one, we don't hold him responsible. Me, personally, I don't hold him responsible. If that's where he went, and it's okay. We worship the same God. We talk to the same God everywhere. God will listen to us. So I'd rather be in an environment where I'm comfortable.
Even the worship, even the special part.
All right.
Yes.
Even the special part, there's nothing wrong.
You are saying something?
Yes, I'm saying even the special part, there's nothing there. He was just describing the president. He's someone who has been a president before, and he was saying, this title that I was holding, there's nothing special. Even this one who has come here, there's nothing special about it. Him, but you can only say that when you're out of that. You can't say there's nothing special about this thing that I'm holding. No, you can only do that. You can only testify after you've passed through something. And
but why was even you had cited my politics ban? Why even so pushing an akatheti diamo? Ngapalibe vabwin.
He still wanted to save.
But there was nothing wrong.
Yes, but there's nothing special about it. But he just wanted to save the country.
He came back to report.
Exactly. He just wanted to save the people of Zambia.
But he was forcing us.
No. He offered himself.
Yes, but there is nothing special about it. Uzaka Visia name. Even Uyu Ari Panavi, Azaka Visia.
Even if when you come him and I'm your
Okay, share story hapa. Share story. Wenzo penzo mkawa siwenzo kamba kotini. Papa, you know, you speak like that. When I
Okay, so to the look of things, we may say, you know, the onlookers ourselves, we may see everything special about, you know, being president. But for him, considering that, you know, he has been there, he's there testifying, confessing that there's nothing special about it.
Okay, now I want to be direct. That message was not for us, won't say. Sembe banatenga kalaba. Sembe banatenga. Who is this? CK. So they should know that there's nothing being a president.
No, that was in the press. So he communicated to everyone.
President, no, you're not saying that. But
no, I'm just trying to relay the message to the right people. So all those who want to be president, they should know that there's nothing special. So they should know there's nothing special. Let us go to the village Kalima farmers.
Why is Chaza hiding like
I hope the director has gotten the screenshot.
Emmanuel, can we have the next story, please?
We should have the next story.
Sorry.
Wait, you acabo de...
Someone once said, internet tem nove, meaning that internet is not your friend. I was actually, disconnected, and I'm back here, and it's good to be back. Quickly, your reactions to, that story as regards, Kabushi there and Kwacha. I don't know who I should take first this time. Let me invite Jerome. Your reaction to that.
Thank you very much, Chaza, and I think that quote came from Lance. On Kabushi and Kwacha, really, it was interesting, and some of us were learning new things now. The legal mind, but there's also a stay. I thought maybe staying is just when someone is at home and they stays here. You know that once there's a stay means different things in the in law. We saw a stay and the counter stay. Really, it goes back to again what most of us have been saying. Our constitution really needs to be reformed, and it needs to be clear. So that if the constitution is clear, there is no way we can be having these court rulings where we're not so sure we are stuck as a nation. It happened in 2016 when you had the presidential petition, okay? Before the petitioners were heard, the court said 90 days is 90 days. Okay, again, it's back here. Before someone is heard, someone is a complaint, before they are heard, they're being told, it's time up. We can't hear you, it's time up, Chaz. Which for me, it's not fair because I've been infringed on, my rights have been infringed upon. I've not been heard of my consent. So it seems to be unfair for now to the PF. They enjoyed it when it was their time. Let me come now to the people of Kabushi. They have been starved of representation for a long time, Chaza, because of these same legal battles here and there. More than is it 3 months ago when the seat for Kabushi and Kwacha they fell vacant, and we were supposed to have elections in September, but because of the constitution, which is not clear for us to understand, has brought us where we are today. So for me, it calls for a constitutional review process and make it so simple, Chaza. Make it so simple that it's straightforward. Where this happens, this is the step to be taken. If this happens, this is what should happen. It's clear. Now we are not so sure if someone who causes a by-election can still be eligible. We are not sure as a nation because we're now told no, nullification is not disqualification. There's an article that says someone who causes an election, a by-election, they're not eligible to stand in that lifespan of parliament. It's all confusing, Chaza, for me as a layman. It's not clear. And again, it has made us as a nation to, especially the Kabushi people, not to have representation. They have been receiving CDF. It can be utilized because in the new guidelines, there is also the part where the MP has to play a role. But because they didn't have any MP, they've been receiving monies and and the money is just lying in their account, starving people of development. I submit, Chaza.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. What's your take on this issue?
I agree with Ruben to some extent when he talks of constitutional reviews that are needed. But I think on this particular case, there are a lot of players that were at fault and were doing what they're not supposed to do. The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, on its own, for me, is the culprit here and has caused a lot of harm than good in this whole process. They took the role of the Constitutional Court and rejected nominations before someone could even file in. When actually should have been the right process was allow someone to file in, because there's a provision in the Constitution where a nomination can be challenged. So that nomination could have been challenged in the court, where the court should have determined whether someone is eligible or not. But ECZ took it upon themselves and acted as judge and jury and interpreter and court and constitutional court on its own by sitting down in their own board and said we cannot accept nominations being filed in by so and so. And when the whole issue went to court, the court says no, actually they were wrong. I think that was the genesis of the problems that we have now. If ECZ was not sure of their mandate, that is why we have the institution of constitutional court. The simplest thing to do is to file in a question for an interpretation, and I think the constitutional court would have gladly done that to avoid all these mishaps. And in the end, we started having court case after court case after court case after court case. And in fact, it's interesting to note that some of these court cases should have been going on, but I think one learned UPND candidate understood where the loophole stood and actually used exactly the same means that the PF used in 2016 to deny the current president the right to be heard, which I think we need to understand and be straight here, which the president at that time said was not right and complained bitterly. But now, when it turns into the favor of the people we are complaining that time, looks like it's good. I think we need to have that kind of consistency in our politics, where when something is good for this one, it should be good for everyone. When something is bad for this one, it should be bad for everyone. That way, we shall develop our politics, we shall develop our democracy, we shall develop our mindset altogether. I've seen a lot of people are celebrating that things have gone out this way. Well, I think it's a good victory for people like me who actually do not like the PF, but it would have been a sweeter victory if we had the people that we actually do not like losing flat out. I think that victory would have been well celebrated, unlike marginalizing them and then infringing on their rights to participate when even the courts says they were supposed to participate. And to me, it becomes a little bit confusing and really unfortunate on my part. Well, I would say for the UPND, I can't fault them that much, but I think this burden falls entirely and wholly on the commissioners at ECZ, who sat down in a meeting to decide to interpret the constitution on their own and act as judge and jury and pronounce judgments on someone, say this one should not be allowed to participate, that one should not be allowed to participate. I think that was an error, and the ECZ must understand that the moment they try to do that, especially when it comes to a general election, and they try to do that and pull out that kind of a stand, I think it will bring a lot of confusion that is not even supposed to be there. Going forward, I would love to see a situation whereby we have free and fair elections. For these elections, to talk of them being fair, I think is something that is very questionable as things stand, because some people were refused and wrongly so by the institution that is supposed to just endorse, as their motto says, we endorse your choice. But at this point in time, I think they took part in choosing and later on endorsing the choice, which was wrong from my part. But all the same, congratulations to the UPND for having scooped the two seats in parliament, and I think it adds to their numbers. It does them some sort of good, well and done. But I think such battles should be avoided, especially if ECZ is going to be at the center of the drama. Let the politicians play the politics and let ECZ handle the elections professionally. And that is all we ask for as a citizen of this country. I submit.
Thank you
Chaza,
so much.
Chaza, can I just come in a bit?
Please, quickly do.
I want to differ with Lawrence just a bit. On a point where he says ECZ interpreted the law. Really, these institutions have got a mandate, like ECZ, they need to run the elections. And it's clear, the same constitution says someone who has caused the by-election should not stand. And I think that's what the group is saying. Let me finish my submission.
There is a condition.
Let me finish exactly my thoughts. Then you can come in also and respond. So ECZ used that same law, okay, to deny those two candidates for PF for the nominations. PF got a stay in High Court and rushed to Concord for interpretation. They won at Concord. ECZ cannot do anything because of the stay that PF had gotten, okay? So they can't go for fresh nominations because of the stay which was in High Court. This is where also PF also messed up the thing. So blaming ECZ alone wasn't fair in this place. They missed the point, is the court guided, but they can't proceed because there's another case in the High Court of a stay. If PF was clear, why didn't they withdraw the stay? So that's for ECZ to do the right thing. But they kept on with the stay in the High Court, which means they tied the ECZ's hands.
But PF is defensive hapa, inzoshita defend.
Also, Ruben, where in our constitution does it allow someone to withdraw and apply to via a letter to be nominated to go back to the ballot? Because there's only one prescribed way of going on the ballot. It is by nomination. So if someone withdraws from an election, the only way they can go back into the election is by being nominated again. But here we are seeing it's all mixed up. We have now set a precedent where in the future, someone can write a letter today to withdraw, tomorrow write another letter, put me back, the other day write withdraw, as many as someone wants. And this is where we are now. We are setting a very bad precedent that going forward is going to give us a lot of problems. Let us understand and agree on this. We are going to have a lot of problems because of the precedents that this particular election has set out. And all this
it's not this election
with or without this election, the constitution still has a problem because someone can resign before the elections tomorrow. Someone can withdraw. You call for fresh nominations before the elections again. They can withdraw. So it's not actually the ECZ here. Yeah,
and again, this is not the first time it has happened.
That one, I agree, yes. But someone withdrawing is one thing. Someone writing a letter to go back is another thing again. Where do we have that in the Constitution?
All right, Himba, I think I'll do give you that opportunity for you to also react to this story and add your voice.
Chaza ziko mkwambiri. Lawrence, vinayambe manje hivi. Chaza, my reaction to this thing, to this whole situation, it's really, I'm going to take it, I'm not going to go the law part where they're saying the Concord is wrong, the ECZ are wrong. And I'm sure, I strongly feel that we have professions in these institutions and they've been given the mandate to do their job. But I think, I've always said, our constitution has a lot of gaps that needs to be, our constitution has a lot of gaps that needs to be corrected or to be amended. And again, the problem na constitution yet, even my lawyers vamangala confused which to interpret. mukabaleta babiri olo batatu yazakamba vinangu at the end of the day a lay person like me confused.
Even the court, Yimba, we've been having different rulings. Is it majority and minority? Which means even them, they can't agree on one thing. Even the courts.
Even themselves, they are getting confused. Even the court. So how can they really preside in a fair situation? But then issue yaku kabushi na kukwacha, it's so sad. Then ba malanji svanaimirire na bankobobo svanaimirire. But again, on the other hand, this, I think, for me, it was actually disadvantaging the people from these areas because we can't hold, the two people can't hold the whole election to stand by or to the development of these areas. And again, even the other question I have, Nangama lawyers, PF, what is their job? I thought for them it's also to interpret, or they are also confused like us, the lay people. Because they have got lawyers. Why didn't they interpret this? Then me, I just have questions after questions in this situation. And again, the PF, they've been in the ruling part before. They understand how the system works. I mean, they literally they've been in the system before. And they've been served in the government longer than the UPND. So they know better. And in fact, the first, and why were they just imwe muzi wako constitution imwe bene Chaza bene Rollins mwe muchita understand, does it mean mwe vanachitira vija those two first candidates you can't change kulibe kuenda na babiri kuti plan B ngasina sevenze tingeneko na plan A ngasina sevenze tingene na plan B kulibe vaso?
Actually, I think the PF saw no need of that because their lawyers understood that those guys are eligible to stand, and they were right. The Conco said they were right. They were supposed to stand. So
but
I don't know why we are looking for option.
Even in
why we are looking for option.
No,
when option correct and was right, there was nothing wrong with it. Even the Concord said they were okay to stand.
No, but again,
Lawrence, I'll cut you short and give Himba 42 seconds to wind up.
So, literally, what I'm trying to say that this is a learning lesson to all of us on in the political arena, even on personal level. Sometimes in Tungulushi, bako selfish. The moment our from the Green camp, they realized that things were bad, they would have gone for other candidates for the sake of moving forward. I don't think they only have these two candidates in their camp who could bring development to those areas or who could carry the flag of the Green team. For me, I think there I didn't understand it. And secondly, it was a challenging thing. I think on the other side, the other camp did not accept that. They are in power. They didn't understand. And we also did the same things. So here, there's a lot at play. But overall, our constitution needs to be worked on. As I conclude, Chaza, the day you are going to be an MP, a wise person once said, when you are given an opportunity to serve in these decision-making positions, make sure that you do the right thing and you correct the right thing in these institutions. Don't corrupt the institutions because you may need these institutions when you're out of office to protect you. So if the PF had corrected these things now, I'm sure it would have protected them. But they left them because it was working for them that time, is it? It was to their advantage. But if they corrected them, I'm sure by now, we're not going to have this conversation where the lawyers at Concord, they are confused. The lawyers at local court, they are confused. At ECZ, they are confused. The general public, confused. At the end of the day, and whether we like it or not, the same constitution of ours, imakambati, olokwa indaba democracy, olokwa bwabali 5 kuvota. Baka uyowe bavotera batatu awina. I submit, Chaz.
All right, thank you so much, Himba. We do greatly appreciate, not forgetting you, Jeremy and Lawrence. We appreciate your presence and also your voices that you've actually added to these stories of the week, not forgetting the viewers out there My name is Chaza, and this has been Point of View. Till next time, God bless you all.